Hello everybody, it's me, that divination witch, and I hope you're doing well. Now, I'm back with another witchy video. This is about Hecate, and not just Hecate, I suppose. It's about the duality of spirituality. The duality of spirituality. Why we need both the light and the dark. Why we need both sides, and why gods, goddesses, deities, angels, demons, spirits, they're not as clear-cut as you may think. So let's get into it. Now, if you're new here, I just want to say hello, welcome. My name's Sarah. I go by that divination witch. This is a safe space I've set up for anyone to ask questions. I try and help people as much as I can. So ask away, no questions silly. Just put it in the comments. If you want to support my channel further, I would be so grateful if you could check out the link tree below as well. I have a shop, I offer readings, I've got a Patreon, all that good stuff. Hecate herself is not just a dark mother. Yes, she is referred to as this a lot, but that is not all she is. And I harp on about this on my channel. I've said it before, but I've never fully explained, like gone in depth about it. So let me introduce you to Hecate's light side. And let's have a talk about it. Let's have a discussion. Have you met Phosphorus before? Now, Phosphorus is sometimes known in Hellenic mythologies as the goddess of the dawn, the light bringer, a child of Nyx, may I add. And it's dawned on me, no pun intended, but it's dawned on me the connection of Hecate and Nyx. They really get along, those two goddesses, they do, but they're not related. Now, Hecate herself is also known as a Titaness, and in Hellenic mythology, her mother was Asteria, goddess of the stars and divination. Her father was Perses, a god of destruction. Now, you know, Hecate, if you think of those parents, her parentage, if you put those two together, you can understand she's the perfect blend of both light and dark. She is duality, she is life and destruction, order and chaos, you know. So Phosphorus is a side of Hecate, not just a goddess in her own right, but also linked to Hecate, an epithet of Hecate that is known as the light bringer. And Phosphorus is the side of Hecate that does bring light and life. Now, if we look at some of Hecate's mythologies, in a nutshell, she is known as a midwifery goddess, a goddess of the home and protection and liminal space and all these other things. But given that she's a goddess of the liminal space is not just death and bad things, it's life and good things, it's bringing forth things. She helped and was called upon to help, assist and aid her strength, her energy, her presence, women birthing children in antiquity. In certain mythologies, she also has pity upon a midwife. I forgot her name. I believe it's the polecat lady. There was a myth where Hera was annoyed. I think maybe it was the Leto myth. I mean, there's a couple. But Hera was annoyed and didn't want this woman to give birth and cursed her to not be able to fully give birth and be in pain for days and days. And Hecate assisted in that. She took pity on a midwife, I believe, that Hera was going to punish. And there is also the Leto myth itself. Now, Leto is Asteria, Hecate's mother's sister, and Leto famously is the mother of Artemis and Apollo, Hecate's cousins in Hellenic myth, and Zeus obviously had his way with Leto. Hera, not too happy about that, wanted it off Leto. Hecate famously assisted Leto and her mother run away, hide away, so she could have the twins, Artemis and Apollo. And one of the myths as well, I believe, that Hecate even helped fight off Hera, turning herself into a scorpion. That's a lesser known myth. Now, of course, these are just myths, and I'm just going off what I know off the top of my head there. Myths, take them with a pinch of salt. I always say that. There are seeds of truth in myth, but they're not literal. But what these seeds of truth tell us is that she has a light side, and that she was called upon to protect women and children and childbirth, and to be a light being. Now that is Hecate Phosphorus, and I have met that side of Hecate several times. And when she manifests as that side of her, she manifests as a light being, a light goddess. She normally has a glowing halo, and not just around the head like an angel halo, but her aura is glowing white, bright light. You can see her cloak and everything, but it is not black, it is not dark, it is not shadows, it is white, it is pure, it is gold and silver and ethereal. It is stunningly bright and stunningly light and healing. And that is not the only light side to Hecate. There is the torchbearer aspect as well. The torchbearer aspect of her is very similar in that they are a light bringer. They are the light at the end of the tunnel. They are the light in the darkness that we would be lost in without. She famously, arguably the most famous myth, she helps guide every year Persephone out of the underworld, out of hell, into the living world, the springtime. She is her constant guide, and she even helps Demeter find Persephone in the underworld in the first place when Demeter was looking for her daughter, that famous Hades and Persephone myth. So if somebody was truly just evil, truly just dark and left-hand path, as some people put it as well, if she was truly all those things, why would she do good things as well? Why would she have good sides to her, light sides to her, if she was wholly evil or wholly a dark goddess? Why would that be the case? Well, it's probably because she's not just a dark goddess. That's part of why I set up my channel in the first place, to dispel all of this misinformation about her. Now, it's not that it's entirely misinformation, don't get me wrong, she does have dark sides to her. But that's not all she is. And it's not just Hecate. That's the same for every god. Every pagan god, every spirit, every angel, every demon, every nature spirit even. Everything, every person, you, me, all of us, we have the light and the dark. And it is very unhealthy to just live in one. There are people, that will say they're dark polarized and only want to work with demons and only want to do the left-hand path. That is not balanced. You will fail. You are setting yourself up to fail if you just do that, if you focus solely on that. Because you need balance. Whether you like that or not, there is light in you. And it's the same for the love and light people. People who have good intentions, yes, and want to protect and help people and, heal people and spread positivity and good vibes. But denying that there's any darkness and denying darkness in the world is equally as bad. And not accepting any darkness is also equally as bad. That doesn't mean you've got to start worshipping demons. That doesn't mean you've got to start sympathizing with evil things. But what that does mean is that you have to address and acknowledge that you have darkness in you. We are all capable of it. Nobody is perfect. Nature is not perfect. Nature, the universe, no matter what God, no matter if you believe in a God even, look at nature. The most beautiful things come from nature. Animals, plants, we have fantastic looking countryside. You go to the beach, it's beautiful, it's peaceful. But what about a tsunami? What about a volcano erupting? What about natural disasters and earthquakes and all these other things? What about the food chain? It's predator versus prey out there. It's natural though. the poor dormouse that is eaten by the fox, or the chicken that's eaten by the fox, or the chicken that's eaten by the human. It's the food chain. It would be nice if we could all just live in peace and harmony, but that's not the way it works. And on a spiritual level, it's also not the way it works. There are things out there that will hurt us, that will want to feed off our energy. Trickster spirits, negative entities. Some people may call it a demon, whatever. There are also beings out there that want to do the opposite and help and heal. And then there are beings that are capable of both, like Hecate, like, I don't know, Jesus even. I know that's ridiculous to say. He was supposed to be the most loving and caring person in the world, but he wasn't without sin. Nobody was without sin. Maybe that wasn't the best example to give, but Jesus himself wasn't perfect. As many people as he may have healed and helped and guided, he wasn't perfect. Nobody was. He was a man. It's maybe Jesus wasn't the best example to give, because he's not in the same league as Hecate. No offense to anyone, but he was a living man once, and he's an ascended spirit. He was a human being. Maybe if I said Zeus, yeah, Zeus is capable of good and bad, or Yahweh is capable of good and bad. It's all about perspective, really. It's all about what side are you on, sort of thing. You know, Archangel Michael, one of the most holy, loving, caring light beings there is also capable of destruction and of death. And if you're on the wrong side of him, if you're in the way, whoopsie, your collateral damage. It doesn't mean it came from a bad place, but it can happen. And that's the importance of duality, and that's what I felt I needed to say, to offer more perspective on things. Agree, disagree, that's fine. Let me know what you think. If you've got anything else you want me to cover or address, put it in the comments below. I'm happy to help. If you made it this far, you may as well hit subscribe. I talk about Hecate a lot if you want to learn about her, and I also share my other experiences as well. And yes, until next time, stay safe, stay witchy. Bye.